So, the party is looking ready to possibly enter the DATASPHERE. You are in Elks and Foil's shop. You have repaired their DATASPHERE torque, which is the device that will create vertices for you to enter. Does the party wish to have a final
I would like to have a
discussion
little
about
talk
Yeah, go for it.
about the plan after we land in the site. Number one, I don't think we know exactly where we're landing. Our goal is to find these objects, which are two objects or one object. Two objects.
They were found with the automaton,
which is
so
this
unless they've been
bowl
separated,
and an eye. Is that what it is?
it's a bowl and a die.
Die.
Okay. With a D. Yes.
Okay. And all right, so we will find these two objects, and I think our goal, I believe it may take me a while, but I believe I may have a few stories that may help us and inspire us to be the best that we can be.
Ooh.
But what I'd like to know is, what kind of story would you feel would be appropriate? I have many and I can go on, but time is of the essence. And so I really want to be careful. Do you feel that we need to be more quiet and not be reckoned, or do we need help in actually finding these items? Would that be salvage to try and find them? Or do we know where they are?
I will say that you were provided with the general location of where to find them. The task that you had was getting into the Lambent Fields.
Okay. So let me tell you a story. Back when times were rough here, there's the story of Mino and Mino. These two people were very good at getting into places and finding objects that help the community. And they were and she goes on and on about telling this story about how these people could go in and not disturb these sanctuaries and come out with the things that help the community the most without being accosted. What this is going to do is I'm doing my antidote, and this will give us everybody ease stealth task by 1.
All right.
For how long?
This is like for 6 hours, I believe. I'm double checking.
Oh, damn, that's a lot.
Oh, okay.
For the next hour.
It's 1 hour.
Yeah, I will allow you to spend some extra points. It's not really in the description for this, but I will allow you to spend some extra points. I could say a point per 30 minutes.
A point for 30 minutes. All right. All right. So it'll start right. Hopefully, I'll get done with my antidote. We'll go. And so I'll put in another 4 points.
Okay. So that's 3 hours.
That's 3 hours. And so it'll cost me a total of 6 points.
Okay, cool.
So 3 hours have passed by, correct, in the storytelling?
There or abouts.
Okay, so it's been about an hour since I first used my DATASPHERE siphon, so I have about 2 more hours until I have to ask a question. So it seems like my siphon might be on its last leg. So if anybody thinks of any useful questions in the next couple of hours, please let me know.
All right. So Elks and Foil, look at the group of you. They look incredibly excited. Elk starts rubbing his hooves together and says, so, you ready to dive in?
I don't believe we will here, though. What does everybody else think we should do?
I also don't think we should do it here because we shouldn't leave the...
And he picks up the bracelet and he puts it on his wrist and he smacks it 4 times. And each time he smacks it, a coin pops out at the place where the bracelet joins, and he goes, "Here you go."
What did you just do, Elks or Foil?
No, I'm Foil.
Foil.
These are the discs that thing was supposed to produce,
We can
right?
go put those somewhere, I believe.
Well, you use those. That's the vertex.
Oh, so we go in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we only take the vertices and not the bracelet.
That's
The
right.
bracelet produces those.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you spitting out these vertices for us, Foil.
Oh yeah. Anything else?
I don't believe so. Does anybody know a place we should head in order to get our journey going?
I have a home here in town that's not far. Rylan, I know you don't prefer to stay in one place for that long. Iseep, Armada,
Oh,
Any
please
preference?
lead the way.
If you'll have us, Fidget.
of course. Yeah, so I will lead everyone to my home, which is sort of on the outskirts of town. It's a very small, like, sort of, like, it's pretty much like just one large room
Mhm.
with just everything in it. It's like a studio apartment, just sort of like thrown on the ground. And it's very well kept. The only thing you would really note that is interesting is there's this large metallic sphere chest in the middle of the floor that has been opened. Right. Here we go, I guess.
We set the discs out, I guess.
Shall we take 3 of them with us?
Oh,
I
no,
think
it's one
it's
per
one
person.
per.
One per person.
One
Yeah.
per person. Oh, my bad.
That's our
Yep.
tether. So
Yeah.
Oops. All right.
I'm gonna ask everyone to roll me a d20.
Oh, yes, chaos. I love it.
Just to be safe, I will also like make sure that all of the discs themselves are like slipped underneath like a rug.
Sure.
So we'll appear with a rug on top of us when we come back. But
I got a 9.
Get a 9.
Mhm.
12.
12. Mike got an 11.
6,
6. All right.
not the greatest.
So you slide these discs under the carpet, you said?
Yeah, under like a rug.
Under a rug. You got a 12, Paul, right?
Correct.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking about?
Me?
Or Iseep, but
Well, I'm looking around and I'm just bracing myself for the sensation of how it's going to feel to be turned into data. And I'm wondering where in the Lambent Fields we're going to end up.
the other 3 of you, Iseep is no longer standing there.
and he's like totally gone. There's not like a boot or a leg.
There's no boot left
Now,
over.
is it
Yeah.
that we? Is it that we? It's not. So, is it a where is Iseep or a where isn't Iseep situation? Like which one of those? Like.
I guess it worked.
Did he just like blink out, or was there an effect? Just blink. Guess I'll try. I'm not. What do we just think? DATASPHERE?
Fidget is no longer standing in the room.
Huh?
All right.
Oh,
Oh,
I wonder how we did that. And we might have discussed maybe how to do this.
did
I think about staying together and going to this thing called the DATASPHERE.
Rylan is no longer in the room. You are alone in the room, Armada.
Oh. Oh. This. stand next to the disc. I'm getting a little nervous now. Go to the DATASPHERE. Click, my heels.
You have your eyes closed?
I have my eyes closed.
So anyone who would have had their eyes open, it would have looked like the scene before you started getting divided into vertical segments that began to bow out, revealing a complete darkness in those spaces in between that just slowly enveloped you. And you all hear this clicking sound in your head. You hear this too, Armada.
I open my eyes.
You find yourself in this space of infinite grayness. On the floor looks like flowing gray fluid. You all see this.
I look around. Do we see the others?
You do start seeing each other. What you also see are sort of echoes leaving your body that look like the actions you just took. So if you would have moved your head, you see an echo of yourself stretching out that fades into the grayness of you moving your head. Now, what I'm going to ask everyone to do, probably do this on a piece of paper, or you can open up Notepad or something. You're going to add up all of your pool points into what is called a soul core. You are now data forms. Your might, speed, and intellect have been brought together into one single pool. You will use edge as you normally use it. So if you're doing a might-related action, you will subtract your might edge from this, but now everything comes from this same pool. You're not sure how you know this, but you are aware of the fact that you are standing in the middle of what is called a frame. You also have another piece of information in your head, which is that this frame belongs to a node. Every instance of a space that you're standing in is a frame. Many frames are often adjacent to another one. Again, you're not sure why you know this, but you seem to instinctually now understand this about the space that you're in.
I, of course, being the one that's usually not quiet, say, what is next? What directions do we go in?
Out on the distance, you think you can see a door.
Well, I think we can try that, maybe.
I'll follow.
As you move, you see echoes of yourself trailing behind you.
Is everybody seeing these ghosts we're leaving behind?
Yeah, I'm trying
yeah.
really hard not to.
Yeah.
I don't feel so good.
There is also on the ground these reddish spots. They almost look like little starfish. But their legs break off into smaller fragments that spiral into fractal patterns.
I'm going to lean down and examine one.
Yeah, so it looks like they break off into these fragments that start with 1, and then another 1, and then they split into 2, and then 3, and then 5, and then 8. and then 13. And then the pattern begins over again.
How do we look? Do we like one-to-one recreations of ourselves?
If you start focusing on different elements of your own body, you feel like you can shape them just by thinking about them. What might be the first thing that comes into your mind? Each of you.
Rylan's first thought legitimately is like, I wouldn't even begin to know how to find food in a place like this. Like immediately, like the survivor brain is going, like it's a new environment. It's just like, yeah.
As you start looking around, you see, Rylan, echoes of places you've been in your past spotting around you.
I start to think, I guess if we're going through our thoughts, I'm thinking about how quiet and devoid this place is. It seems of life and art and anything that resembles what I feel is life.
With that, color begins to materialize around you, and you all can hear music sort of emanating from Armada.
I'm feeling really uneasy because I feel like when I can't comprehend things, I feel ungrounded, and I'm already feeling separated from myself by seeing my ghost trails.
You start to float about 6 or so inches off the ground.
I'm speechless and freaking out right now.
As I walk, I just sort of wonder, like, what sort of people could have made something this incredible? Like, how long did it take to get to here? What was involved in that task? And just kind of marveling at just the incredible nature of what this space is, and marveling at the fact that someone, whether they're a person, a visitant, a god, it doesn't matter. Someone is responsible for this.
You see these orbs begin to surround you. And inside each of the orbs, you see what look like cities rapidly being built and then slowly degrading, looping over and over and over again.
Anyone else think maybe while we're in here, we might be able to get a bit more information about what we're doing?
I would like to get to the door as soon as possible, but if you all feel like it's okay, then I'm just floating here. I'll trust it.
If Iseep permits, I will sort of walk up to him and either like take his hand or grab onto his arm or just something like that to attempt to at least make him feel a little more grounded.
And Iseep takes Fidget's hand. Thank you.
You slowly sink back to the ground, Iseep.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
I'm okay to explore.
I'm going to take this opportunity, just like witnessing that, I'm just going to take this opportunity to designate Iseep as my my scavenging partner at this point, which means that now I am trained in all tasks involving finding, healing, interacting with, and a fourth thing that I don't remember. I'll look at it. And protecting. So, yeah, just I'm not sure how this would manifest in the DATASPHERE, but like in back in kind of the real world, it would basically look like just a very slight manipulation of like a like nano field to like basically like detach from like what I am manipulating at basically all times, that just then sort of attaches itself to Iseep.
Thank you.
Like that way At least if you end up separated, it'll be easier for me to find you.
Can I just think real hard about the automaton and just see what happens?
You see, piercing the infinite grayness, a tremendous orange light. And underneath
We all
this,
see it?
yeah, actually, underneath this orange light begins to materialize a ground. And you begin to see the rise of these two glass pylons that stretch into the air. And you can see on the ground thousands of automatons that look like that. And they're all moving about.
Incredible.
I don't think I've ever seen such a thing.
I'm trying to recall what some of our unknowns on this whole thing are, so that maybe we can try to get some of our answers here. But like,
You feel actually, Rylan, that like if you were to ask a question, you might be able to summon help. And I'm going to ask you for an understanding Numenera check if you do that.
Sure. I'm just trying to remember what our initial unknowns were, so that I like know what kind of question to ask, because I feel like there was some question earlier about like who this message was from and the
Yes.
why of it.
Mhm.
And I think
Exegesis, is that what it was?
the
Genesis?
Exegesis.
exegesis, yeah.
And then Vona was another person.
Right. I think I'm interested in just saying I'll just like look around, like who is, or actually better question, what is exegesis? And yeah, that's the question that I'm asking.
Give me an understanding Numenera roll.
Okay. I'm just gonna, I think I'm just sort of gonna roll it as is right
Okay.
now.
Is that a 1?
It sure is. Oh god, part of me revels in the chaos, but also
You could re-roll it. I will allow that.
I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spend an XP here.
All right.
Let me just mark that down. All right.
The GM intrusion may still happen.
Okay.
So now we'll get paid for it.
Maybe.
Okay, well that is a 10.
Okay.
So
You hear the word daughter in your head. And then a square begins to form in the air. And it sort of pushes itself out as a cube that falls into the grayness. And an eye pokes itself out. And it says, "Accept inquiry."
what is exegesis?
A practice of interpretation of religious texts.
Okay. Who is exegesis?
This question does not make any sense.
Okay, cool. That's it. All right.
Who are you?
I am the demon helper of this node.
I'm not actually sure what to ask here.
How do we exit this place to get to where we want to?
I do not know where you want to go, but to exit this frame, that data barrier, and it moves itself and it points to the door frame, is where you will need to go.
Okay.
Is there a specific location you are looking for?
The Lambent Fields.
How about the closest automaton?
Not the closest automaton. I feel like that could.
Never know where that
Well,
may
I don't
take
know
you.
if they know what laminate fields are, but
Right, but that's why I'm asking the question. 'Cause
Yeah.
it might not.
Lambent Fields modern term for that location. Yes, it is one node over.
What's the ancient term?
It lets out this garbled, like grinding sound. Yep.
Okay, so in order to one node over, you said, does that mean that going through this data barrier will get us there?
It will take you to the next frame, of which there will be 3 more afterwards.
Okay.
There is a conduit which will take you to that node.
Understood.
Is there a daemon for that node as well that will allow us to inquire with it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Rylan is starting to, like, now that he understands some parts of something, now, like, that survival brain is starting to, like, the, like, guide brain is starting to kick in. He's like, okay, these directions do not make any sense in the, like, it's not, like, north, south, whatever, right? But it does make sense in, like, he has directions now, and is like, okay, I think we can do this. And I'll just say, are there hazards to us between here and this next node?
Yes.
What is the nature of these hazards?
The preceding frame contains entry abstract, the remnants of the last visitor who was unable to leave.
Oh. What rendered this last visitor unable to leave?
Another abstract.
Great.
He died shouting the name of his daughter.
Since they're stuck here, can we speak to these that we're not able to leave?
Potentially.
I am going to recommend that we avoid whatever this abstract is, if we can.
Sounds like a good idea.
Best thing we can do right now is avoid making contact. We just try to move through the territory as quickly and gracefully as possible.
So should we stop if we run into these stuck people?
We'll try to avoid any kind of contact, but if we run into them, well, we'll evaluate based on their reaction, I guess.
What was this daughter's name?
Shanna.
That may be important.
Okay, anybody else have any questions here?
I'm gonna look up at the cube. Who made you?
Unknown. I have existed longer than many other forms here.
How long?
Calculating. More than 14,000 rotations.
Okay.
Correction.
14,000 seems like a lot of numbers.
14,600,000 rotations.
That's a pretty big number.
Yeah.
Also, that's a pretty big miscalculation.
Yes. Many aspects of this space are not operating correctly.
That's probably hazardous to us too, so we should probably try to get going.
I'm ready to head to the door if you all are okay with that.
Yeah.
I close my eyes and give a deep bow in the direction of Zeman. Thank you.
Thank you, not necessary.
Have already started kind of like moving towards the door.
As you approach the door, it glows red, and then a rectangular slot opens with 8 circles.
Do these circles look like the vertices at all?
No.
it's a rectangular slot, 8 circles in the rectangular.
Yes.
Okay.
Should we approach?
Yeah. Are they all the same? All the circles? Like, there's no differences between them? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll approach and just very like. I have several working theories here, but I know what me, Lucas, would do. Rylan is a little more cautious and like focused on self-preservation, I think. This whole survival thing. I think Rylan is. I think I'm going to like sort of reach out, sort of slowly, and just. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna touch the thing.
You be careful.
When you touch one of the circles, it begins cycling a series of numbers.
Can we read these numbers?
Yes.
Okay. Does it seem to be cycling randomly, or is it like a pattern?
It's going 0 through 13 and then starts over again.
Oh, okay. I touched the next one.
It cycles through the numbers too.
Both of them at the same time are doing it. Okay, cool. Are they doing it in the same like? Are they like offset?
They're offset. Yeah.
Okay.
Based on the time that you touched them.
Got it. Yeah. That's okay. Cool. All right.
Should we have there's 6 remaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should each of us try to touch the circles?
Do you really feel that's necessary? I believe that this is some type of locking mechanism.
Okay.
Or
It uses some kind of numbered sequence, perhaps? I don't know the technology very well, but...
Or maybe some kind of, I don't know, address or code of some kind, not just to unlock, but to direct, maybe? Like coordinates almost?
Can I try and scan it?
Yeah. This is definitely looking for a sequence of numbers. You believe that once you press it again, as it's cycling through the numbers, it will stop at that number, and you need to get that sequence correct.
So is this so this is a barrier. This is not
Correct.
Okay.
This is not
Cool.
a ticket booth. Good to know.
Got it. All right.
It is a barrier, not a ticket booth.
All right. What is the level of it?
It is level 6.
Level 6. Gotcha.
Okay. Is this, you share that information?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. Then with that, I'll be like, huh. I'll like start doing it in the same sequence of the fractal pattern, and I'll try to get them in order. So doing the like 1, is it 1?
You starting with 1
or is it? Huh?
If you start with 1, you only end up with 7 numbers.
That's true. So.
But 0?
It's.
You can start with 0.
That's
okay.
not. That's a question. That is not a recommendation. To be clear.
Hold on. I'm gonna just real quick. I'm gonna do because I can't do multiple things at the same time. My brain is. Rylan, I'm sure could, but I can't. So hold on. Yeah. Okay. So, yes, I am going to start with 0.
Okay.
And then go through the whole like it's 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13.
The numbers stop into place. You hear this loud bang, and the door opens up.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, you see what looks like a warehouse with shelves.
That was pretty cool, Rylan.
That was cool, but did we need to find another? Are all the nodes? I really am confused.
So this.
I'm just going. Is this where we're supposed to be?
Yeah. All right. So Rylan is gonna like turn and like using the like pieces of information that he has now picked up. He's just like, all right. So this is a frame. We need to get to the next frame, and we pass through a certain number of frames. And that'll lead us to the passage to the next node. That's where we need to be. That's going to let us out into the Lambent Fields where we need to go.
I like the confidence. Lead on.
If I could craft remote viewer because I feel like
Bam.
these combinations are going to be important to remember. So I'm gonna need 10 minutes.
This one is based on the fractal pattern of the things that I examined earlier. It seems like a pretty significant sequence. So if that helps you at all craft whatever you're going to do, like that knowledge, maybe that...
The knowledge might not help the crafting. The crafting still can be done.
Sure.
And I'll say you feel like you can actually move while crafting with the weightlessness you've never felt before.
So I'm gonna...
So for the remote
9.
viewer, yeah, you just need 1 crafting check.
Okay.
Although
D20?
D20, you could sink a level of effort into that for free, and that'll be an automatic success. So you don't need to roll, but it will still take 10 in-game minutes.
I kind of want to just roll it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to tell you
it.
not to.
Here we go. 14.
Great. Yeah. So in 10 in-game minutes, you will have your remote viewer cipher.
Do you mind letting me know the cost again?
9 units of parts.
9 parts?
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
4 units of IO.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
5 units of responsive synth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
1 unit of apt clay.
Okay.
And 1 unit of quantium.
Quantium. Perfect.
All right.
Are we all going into the warehouse? This might be bullshit, but
It's my favorite way of anybody beginning any plan or idea.
this might be bullshit, but I have an empty cipher slot and I'm in a warehouse. Could I poke around and see if I could find a cipher? Or is that not something that you can acquire in the DATASPHERE?
You can.
Yeah.
Give me a roll to look for some ciphers.
Yeah, so let's see. Would salvaging help for looking for them?
I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. So salvaging, I'm specialized in. This is an intellect adjacent task, so I'm going to use 2 levels of effort for my intellect pool.
Okay.
So let's roll.
He's rolling that. So you were told that we have danger ahead. Is it in this node or another node?
Oh, this node.
This node, but I think it, if I remember correctly, I think it said it was in the next frame.
Oh, yes, it did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not this frame.
It's not the one that we just left, but I think it is the one we just entered.
Oh, so this warehouse is danger.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going into the danger zone.
When you
Okay.
step into this warehouse, the shimmering echoes from behind you vanish. You appear as you normally do. It feels like you're walking in a warehouse filled with shelves that are aligned with clocks, that the second you walk in, they all start chiming, making this absolute racket of a sound. Fidget, you come across this hovering glyph. And I will ask for an understanding Numenera roll to determine what this cipher is.
Oh gosh, I'm hindered in that. Let's go, y'all.
You could be like, hey, Nano.
You know what? Actually, I'll do you one better. So, can I use my confident outlook, but instead of saying instead of giving it for understanding Numenera, can I say specifically for like understanding the DATASPHERE? And would that help?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Because I don't want to take overall understanding Numenera.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It's only for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I just sort of like vibe with this place so much that it becomes like one of those hyperfixations where it feels easy to learn about.
Mhm.
So I will use my confident outlook to gain skill in that for 10 minutes.
Yep. So you need to make a level 3 roll.
Level 3 roll. All right, let's go.
I like that. I like the both Fidget. Oh my god.
Nice.
Incredible.
A 9 on the die.
like both Fidget and Rylan are both like interested in learning about this place, but for very different reasons. Like Rylan is all about like, all right, practical. How do we navigate this place? What are the dangers? Like, where are we going? And like Fidget is like, wow, this place is incredible. Who did this? This is a wonder of the modern world. Like, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Fidget, you will find the full description of this in your equipment, but it basically will trap a data form. Well, actually, all creatures in the user's frame in an infinite loop for 4 hours.
Okay.
Wait, say what? We're stuck in an infinite loop for 4 hours?
If Fidget uses it on you.
If I use it.
Okay. You're not using it yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay,
cool. Let me know, because I do want to ask my last data siphon question.
You want to ask that now?
Yeah, why not? Anybody have any I can't think of any questions, so if anybody has been, since we are in the data sphere, if anybody has any questions you think would be useful before this siphon breaks down, which I fear it will soon.
I can think of bullshit vibe questions, but nothing that is mission relevant.
Better than no questions.
What's the Datasphere's favorite color? No.
No, it's already starting to answer it.
Yeah, I think I can't think of anything really right now.
Neither. So maybe we'll save it for a little longer.
I think.
How much longer do I have it for?
We'll say you need to ask it before you leave this frame.
Okay.
I think the moment we step inside the warehouse, like Rylan is remembering what the like, and is immediately like looking for any sign of like the hazards that we were warned about.
Give me a perception.
Cool. Let's see. Does can I use surviving as okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, cool. I'm specialized in that.
Great.
I think I will use 1 level of effort because I get that for free, and that's all I'm gonna do.
All right, give me a roll.
That's a 12.
You see behind one of the shelves, the wall is shifting red in color, and it is moving down to the floor and slowly approaching you.
I will immediately point that out and be like, something's coming towards us. I sort of think Rylan's immediate instinct upon seeing this thing coming is just to use push. Just to keep it at bay. And yeah, I think I'm just trying to push it, and just turn and go and just say, go.
You do see another door in there.
Yeah, I'll like point and just like use push.
So your push. Make me an attack roll.
Okay. I think I'm not. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. As is, I'll use up 1 level of effort on that.
Yeah, because you can for free.
Yeah. That was a 7.
Okay. So you push this thing back, and as it spreads back, I have a GM intrusion for everybody.
Ooh. Does that mean?
No objections?
We all get experience for that?
Yes.
Okay, that's yeah.
XP for everyone as this red shape gets pushed back into the wall, and when it does, it fractures into several pieces and begins to surround all of you. You might want to run for that door.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, that is not what I was hoping for, and just start running.
When you get to the door, it glows red, and it says name.
Yeah. Shana. I'll just say it. I say
Shanna?
Mm-hmm.
The door, you hear a loud bang, and the door opens.
Yeah. I don't even look. I just go.
Yeah, I do too. Although I am gonna watch. Are these red shapes going to attempt to chase us through the frame?
Yep, they are.
All right.
Okay, great. Because in my irrational, I'm freaking out right now. So I took out my forearm blade with not even knowing if this is gonna help. I'm just
The
freaking
forearm
out.
blade appears to like actually come out of your arm.
So I'm just
And
gonna. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I was just asking if it coming out of my arm is a characteristic of being in the DATASPHERE.
You would hope.
Okay. Sorry to cut you off, Fidget.
Yeah. So do we all get out before the creatures do?
Mm-hmm.
All right, super. Then I'm gonna try and use my loop trap on the adjacent frame.
All right, great. So you activate this glyph and it begins to spiral rapidly, and it goes into the previous frame that you guys were coming out of, and you just see the red patterns surging to the door, stopping, going back, surging to the door, stopping, going back. It'll do that for about 4 hours.
Amazing.
I let the group know. Yeah, they're gonna be up to that for a few hours.
I think Rylan just like grins and just sort of like claps Fidget on their shoulder. It's like, nice work.
Thanks.
I'm just standing there shaking with my forearm turned into a blade.
So in this frame that you're now in, it is once again an infinite grayness, but you see these iron bubbles floating around the room, sometimes popping. And when they do, it kind of smells like roasted meat.
Anyone else getting hungry?
Yeah, I am a little hungry. I kind of was trying to get us a bite before we left, but we were in such a hurry. It's
So,
okay. We skip it back on task.
so confused, everybody.
All right. I'm like looking for the next door. Do
You
I
see it?
another one? Okay, cool.
You head for it and it turns red, and there are these indescribable symbols there.
All right. So
I start swiping at them just because I'm freaking out.
Well, that is when you see again that square line tracing. It falls out and the eye pops out and it says, "Hello."
are you the same demon as before?
Probably.
Okay, that's very helpful.
I have good news for you.
Yes.
And
What
you
is the
hear
good
these series of beeps and clicks. And then to your right, you see another data barrier appear. This one will lead you directly to the conduit that'll take you to the next node. I have found it. It is broken.
Great.
Can it be fixed?
Yes. Well, maybe. It can be
Okay.
fixed in approximately 20,000 years.
I think that's too long.
I think that's a little. I think that's a little outside of our.
I'm not the math genius, but
Can I use my siphon question to ask the quickest way to fix this?
The siphon responds, execution, kick.
I'm never taking the time to build a siphon again.
The eye pipes up and says, it is referring to the kick execution.
Which is
just kicking it.
The kick execution.
I think Rylan's just gonna kick the door. Like,
All right, give me an understanding Numenera roll.
oh my god. All right, cool.
This is going to be level 6.
I'm gonna. Oh boy.
I'm being
okay,
generous
all right.
and telling you
Yes,
the level.
Yeah. All right. Well, I am gonna use my free level of effort at least.
Yes.
So if I, in theory, had breaking objects as a skill, would that help?
Ooh. It's a different kind of breaking, but we are in the datasphere. I will count that as an asset.
All right, then
Okay.
I will assist Rylan in telling him the best
right.
way to break this object.
Excellent. All right, so that's one asset, one level of effort that I've used. I'm just making sure that there's maybe not some other.
So it's down to 3.
This is very interesting. What if I? This might be. Can I use? It might function differently in the datasphere to my benefit, but can I use my reshape ability here to help with this? While kicking, using that at this or is that?
You have to spend at least 10 minutes.
I have to spend at least 10 minutes if I am making something that is complex, but I
Gotcha.
can just use it to
Yep, yeah.
yeah.
You can't change the nature of the material, only its shape.
Sure. So that's I'm guessing
Thus,
probably
you can
not
make a
going
hole
to
in a wall, or you can seal up one.
I'm wondering, since we translated strangely into the datasphere, I'm wondering if our abilities also did, and
You can describe it creatively, I'll accept it.
Sure. Okay. So my thoughts are that as Rylan is kicking it, he's basically, as we've been going through this datasphere and seeing how the datasphere has affected each person's things that they can do outside of the datasphere, like Iseep's arm blade, for instance, and how it translated many of those things into something that is appropriate for within the sphere. Using that and sort of extrapolating that knowledge. Since you said this is an understanding Numenera role, right? So
Mhm.
I'm taking some of that knowledge, trying to extrapolate from that, and basically then making the leap that possibly our abilities will have been translated in the same way, and understanding also that I'm not kicking a physical door, and so but it is what is equivalent to a physical door in the datasphere. Rylan is going to channel through that kick the same ability that he uses periodically outside of the datasphere, to metaphorically break the door within just remembering how all the doors prior had opened, trying to just sort of force that outcome into this door. That's kind of what I'm imagining here.
All right. Level 3 roll. Or, sorry, level 1 roll.
Okay. All right. I am going to go ahead and roll on that. You've got to be kidding me.
Is it 1?
I could re-roll it because
You could.
if it was a 1, I'm gonna re-roll it, because if it was a 1, I think I would let it lie, because that's at least interesting.
Interesting.
But this is
Sure.
so I'm going to re-roll this.
Okay.
That's a 12.
Okay. So you see just the space around Rylan just begins to condense on him, and he appears to move with a speed that is just unthinkable. And you can see the sort of the air around his leg begins to ripple and crack, and he kicks this door, and it completely shatters open, and you see this blue hallway stretching in front of you.
What the?
Are you muted, Mike?
That was quite impressive.
Extrapolating from some of the things. You know what? We don't have time for that. Let's go.
I need to get out of here soon. I can't. My brain is not able to handle this.
I will just sort of turn to Iseep to say, "It's okay. I think we're almost out."
All right, let's do this.
And yeah, I'll just sort of basically just push through any of the digital sort of shards of the door as we're going through, and just start walking through this hallway.
As you start walking through this conduit, if you look past it, it's sort of this translucent blue, and you can just see this endless array of connecting lines and dots. It looks like it goes on for infinity. And you reach the end of it, and you walk through a door into a pitch black room where you can swear at the edges of the room there are people walking about and whispering.
Are you all still here?
You're all there.
So here.
All right.
Moment. I try to listen. Can I make out any words?
Give me a perception roll.
Is that intelligence?
Yes.
Six.
You hear a voice in the crowd. Something like, over here.
They definitely speak whatever language. I understood it. It was a language that I understood.
Yes. It sounds like it's in the crowd of people who you only see these dark silhouettes of.
Mm-hmm.
Is my remote viewer done? Am I done?
Yes.
crafting?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just Armada, it seems like you're hearing. Are you able to make that out?
I just heard a person call out over here. Do I know what direction
Yes.
that was in?
You have to.
Okay.
You have to push through these like.
Okay, so I heard somebody say over here, and I heard it from that direction. So I start going in the direction that I heard it.
Yeah. So you have to push through these silhouettes of people, which feel like
Okay.
electrical fields almost.
And
And
Armada, it's hard to see. Can you emit a noise or something so that we could follow?
Oh, you want me to have noise? I start bringing the music that I had earlier. I focus on it, and it becomes more of a jazzy tune.
well, eventually that voice you heard, it starts to get louder, and it says, "Oh, please stop that. That is really annoying."
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I turn it down.
And eventually you see, and it sheds a bit of light past the dark silhouettes of these abstract people. You see what looks like a scale that you weigh things on, and it's golden. Hello.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. I wanted my friends to be able to follow me.
Sure. I am Bartleby.
Yes. Nice to meet you, Bartleby. I am Armada.
Great. Your death surely awaits.
My death awaits. Did we turn the wrong way?
Sorry. Again, you're here. How many times before you realize your suffering is inevitable? Shall I help you navigate this place?
That would be... wait, let's back up a couple things. I've been here before?
Suffering lies beyond. We must hurry.
Suffering lies beyond. I don't think we wanted to go to that place, but what do you guys think?
I apologize. A variety of my subroutines are not functioning correctly.
Great. Do we know? You know what? That's not even worth it. We're trying to reach the Lambent Fields.
Of course you are.
Okay.
And do you know where that vertice is? Are we close?
Oh, yes. You are lucky. The adjacent frame will take you there. Several other frames have been closed down to prevent you from proceeding any further.
Like intentionally, us.
Who can say what intention is?
I cannot take this language anymore. Just tell us where to go.
Please follow.
Okay.
A flying scale.
Yes.
The old timey like justice thing.
Yep,
right?
like literally like a justice scale.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I sort of say to no one in particular, Bartleby is not wrong. There's plenty of suffering to go around in the beyond.
That is unfortunately true.
Very well. We will just need to pass by this data barrier. Somebody didn't lock it correctly. I'm very sorry. Many things have happened since you've been here. So let's go.
I don't like the sound of that.
You've been here.
The door frame opens and you see a room filled with just these rods and handles.
My God, it's not the exit.
No, at the other end of this, we will need to go past.
Okay. Lead on, please.
He leads on. So, as you enter this room, these rods look like they can be pushed, and you almost feel like you do have to push some of them out of your way, or you have to duck under them.
We'll try not to touch anything and duck.
Okay.
I'm trying to slice with my plate very frantically.
Are you? When you do, you make contact with the rod, and the rod pushes forward, and you see... It reminds you of, well, it looks exactly like the scene when you first learned what IO was from one of your teachers. And you see these words hovering over it. It says, mistake, question mark, possibility, question mark.
What game is this playing? Is anybody else seeing this?
I decided not to touch these things, probably for the same manner of what you're going through. I maybe not touch them. I don't know. Is it a good thing?
I see distant memories and questions I've kept to myself this whole time.
Bartleby says, it's best not to ruminate on the past. We cannot change the past. I keep telling people that.
I think at this point, Rylan will look at Iseep and say, I think I'm on board with you right now that from this point on, I think we just have to keep moving because...
I agree.
Like our guide says, I have a feeling that this is probably a place that has trapped others like those abstracts we ran into before.
I'll stop hitting things and follow everybody.
And yeah, I will follow Armada's lead and try to avoid touching anything.
Same.
I'm sorry, everyone.
It's important information. It helps us figure out how to navigate the place.
So you reach the end of the room where there is another data barrier, and Bartleby says, the Verdes lies beyond.
Is it another, does it appear to be another, like, is it open, or do we have to...
Try not to get zapped. Sorry.
Thank you for that piece of information, I think. I'm just going to try to, like, touch the door.
Zap.
I was fully expecting that.
I'm joking.
When you touch the door, you all see Rylan vanish.
Good?
Is Rylan...
Maybe good?
What happened last time?
Well, he is kind of our guide. I think I'm going to follow him.
Armada vanishes.
Fidget, are you gonna follow?
Yeah, I will. I didn't want to leave you alone if you didn't want to be.
I appreciate it. I'll go. And I touch the door.
And I will
Yes.
follow him.
Just before you leave, Alex, Bartleby says, hope I don't have to see you again.
I fear you might. Go in.
You all find yourselves, it feels like you are falling. You're falling in this just expanse of endless blue. And a shadow comes over you. Do you look up?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
You see
Yeah.
what looks like a manta ray just soaring over you. And as it passes, you all find yourselves in about a 15-foot by 15-foot room. The walls pulse between black and gold, and there is a thin line of turquoise that wraps around the entire room.
Are we still very clearly in the datasphere?
How do you try to
Or-
assess that?
I assumed that there was a different feeling to being in the but for the purposes of this, I will I'll try to manifest any of the like I'll ask a question again, I guess. I don't know. I'll just ask a question. I'll just say, are we still in the datasphere?
How does my forearm look?
Looks like your forearm.
Can I scan Armada?
You gain the readings of human, flesh and blood, carbon-based.
I think we're out.
Very talented.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I realize I literally gave myself an ability called scan.
Oh, that's
That,
right.
you
Yes, you have scan.
I actually could legitimately determine. I'm gonna, yeah. I'll take Fidget at her word. I'll say okay. It brings us to a different question, which is, where are we?
Or we're like in a dark room.
Yeah, the light is emanating from this turquoise line that traces the middle of the room all the way around.
Is there a door or anything?
When you were scanning, you had gotten a sense that there was a door above you. In fact, something that was pulling energy up from the turquoise line.
I think the way out is up.
Okay. And you said it's dark in here, right? Other than that
Yeah.
light. Okay.
Mhm.
So we can't see up there, is that correct? Okay. Well, anybody got any way of seeing what's going on up there?
I mean, how good's your arm? I've got a glow globe.
I suppose I could, I mean, worst case scenario, I could try to push it up there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, so I'll go into my pack. I'll pull out a little fist-sized glow globe, toss it over to Rylan.
Yeah, and I'll like take it in my hands and just sort of use push to like send it up.
When it reaches a certain point, you see it looks like it stretches and then vanishes.
Concerning.
Right. Now the question is it being transported somewhere, or is it being destroyed? That's what we need to figure out before.
If one of us wants to test it, I could craft some adhesion clamps to walk up the wall.
You do also have your remote viewer that you crafted.
That is.
Let's let there be another couple of steps before going straight to live
Yeah.
human testing.
I'm wondering. Oh, actually, you know what? I am going to use scan. I'm going to use scan here, to try to determine what kind, am I able to determine what kind of energy is like exuding from this point?
It is a doorway that will phase you through matter to the other side.
Great. That's way more information than I was looking for, but great, perfect. I love that. I'll take it. Because like if we were still in a trial phase, I was gonna figure out what kind of energy it was, and then use energy protection on myself, and then just go through it and see what happened. But no, that's great. I'll just say, yeah, that's a doorway.
Right.
Yeah.
How do we want to get up there?
You said you could craft something. I might be able to. I mean, I don't know if I want to use it for this, but I have a reality spike that I could use to maybe like. I don't think I want to use it for that. I don't think it'll be the most useful place to use it.
Right.
So how high up is this energy?
It looks like once it hit about 5 feet above you.
Oh, it's only 5 feet
It
above
looks
us?
like we just jump up and you're saying it'll take us somewhere.
Can we jump 5 feet?
I don't have quite that good of a vertical.
Well, I'm just saying.
It'd be one hell of a might task.
Well, yeah, I don't have a 5-foot vertical either, but
What are the chances? Are there any like metal sheets or large metal objects in here?
There are some like cylinders and things like that. Yes.
Large enough for one or multiple of us to stand or sit on?
Sure.
All right. So,
Are we just stacking crates? Is that what's going on right now?
actually, yeah, could we stand one of these up and climb up that way? Or is
Yeah.
it too short for that? Oh, right. Yeah, let's do that. That's
Okay.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That's a lot less convoluted than what I had in mind.
So who goes in first?
I'll go if no one else volunteers.
I mean, your glow globe is up there, so
Yeah. Yeah, so like as soon as I sort of like stand up one of these things, I'll go pick that glow back and just sort of scramble up and
You see it looks like Fidget's physical form stretches and then she disappears.
Did she emit any screams of pain when that happened?
It didn't hurt. Fidget, you find yourself in this room where you are gently floating. There's a black cylinder right in the middle, and above this cylinder is this blue crystal that's just orbiting or hovering. And when you arrive, it pulses with a white light and it says, "Correction unit."
I think Rylan would have been like as soon as Fidget was gone, Rylan would have like gone up too. So like I'd say probably about that point, Rylan would just pop in.
I just kind of float there confused because I don't think I'm a correction unit and I don't know what a correction unit is.
Did the other two of you enter this room?
yes.
Oh, I panicked right after Rylan because I do not want to be the last one. So sorry, Armada. I just like pushed you out of
No,
the
that's
way.
okay.
Right
I thought I know you're a little
Mhm.
antsy to get moving, so I would have lit.
I think there's the requisite period of time where Rylan like tries to like get his orientation in the like floating like okay, oh, ooh, okay.
Yeah, so you arrive in this room. It's covered with these screens that look like they're cracked and they flicker in light. And yeah, this crystal says, "I am contingency."
That's ominous.
Contingency for what?
You have brought the device, yes?
Which device?
The capture device.
Yes. I think that's the thing that we were given. We have the capture device. Yes.
Well, you can use it now, but you will have to confront the Arbiter.
I'd rather not do any confronting.
Is there a way to avoid confronting this arbiter?
I don't know. They are in there with the interlopers.
Oh,
No, that's the last
interlopers.
thing I
I don't
wanna
like
deal
that
with.
either. Order of Truth, maybe?
Maybe.
I apologize. I cannot offer you more. I have lost great contact with the fabricators.
Who were the fabricators?
They created me. And Descent sent for you to be here. And you are here. How fortuitous.
Is this the automaton? Is this or the construct or whatever?
I'm wondering if I could answer that question with my remote viewer. Can I put the lens outside of the room that we're in to see? what
There's a
location
doorway
we're in?
leading to another room.
Can I
So
use the remote viewer to look outside of the structure to see if we're
Yes.
inside
Yes.
anything?
Mhm.
Okay.
So you can, the glass screen on one part shows everything going on in the vicinity. Yeah. Okay. So you see in the other room, there is a series of maze-like catwalks. There are about 13 or so people in there. And there is this structure inside of which you can see the body of an automaton with 3 heads, multiple arms, and about 3 times the height of a human.
Oh, everyone, I think I see the automaton on the other side of that door.
Descent, yes. They have been waiting for you.
Oh.
Descent is the automaton?
Interesting term.
I'll take that as a yes.
I think so.
And you said Descent sent for us.
Yes.
That was the message that we received.
I do not know.
I'm trying to now. I am trying to recall.
Exogenesis?
Exegesis.
Exogesis?
I am not familiar with that term.
Okay.
Descent sent for you to prevent God herself.
So why must we deal with the Arbiter?
I don't understand why this is so unclear.
You wouldn't. Okay. All right. Okay. So we need to deal with the Arbiter if we use the capture device now. Is that something that I don't. We came here for a reason. I don't know if there's much of a way around. If this is what we came here for, then I don't know if there's a way around this.
I agree, unfortunately.
I think we'll have to face the Arbiter.
An arbiter. That sounds like somebody that talks. Maybe we can make a deal.
If we can, I'll leave that to you.
You are the one with the gift of gab among us.
Okay. How do we use the capture device?
It is interesting how misinformed you are.
Yes, it sure is. I've had that thought myself.
Much has been lost in the 14 million rotations since you were sent for.
Okay, all right.
Is that a correct calculation?
There is room for error. It has been a long time. When the pylons were destroyed, much of my calculation capacity was completely removed.
Okay. Then let's not waste any more time. I don't actually know who has the capture device. One of us, presumably.
Yeah.
I guess I'll move toward, like you said, that like the crystal is sort of where the voice is coming from. Yeah. Okay. I will kind of like move towards that. Can I propel myself in any way in this floating sort of? Yeah.
Sort of like moonwalking.
Okay. Cool. Then yeah, I'll do that and kind of move over towards like the crystal. Is there anything other than that? You said there's cracked screens and things like that. Is there anything else in this room?
There is a door, which is
okay.
what the remote viewer was used to look through.
Right, okay. Well, I'm not entirely sure how we're supposed to use that thing, so anybody have any ideas?
Can I sort of like look over the capture device and see how that's supposed to go?
It looks like they unfasten. It looks like 2 parts that would unfasten from one another. Sort of the bottom end of the base, which is sort of kind of ovoid in shape, and then there's a long stem.
Gotcha.
And we were
And
told
you
not to
just sort
mess
of-
with it until we needed to.
Yeah. And you just put the item in the device, and and that's that. It's not like a Ghostbusters vacuum or anything like that.
Correct.
It's not like a Pokeball or like
right.
And to be clear, we don't see the in this area there's no like bowl, or that's with the automaton supposedly.
Yes.
Okay. Well, should we go into the next room?
I think so.
Let's go.
All right. You open the door.
We should probably try to make use of the thing that Armada did and try to go quietly.
Right.
All right. So you open the door, and there is just this maze of catwalks on one level. And then below, you can see another maze of catwalks. And on that level, you see about a dozen or so members of the Order of Truth, all standing kind of in a row. And in front of them is this person that is 7 or 8 feet tall with this elaborate headdress of horns. They have very pale, milky white skin, and they're speaking in that truth language. And behind them is this canister that is held in place by what looks like 2 metal, almost flowers even, that are just like containing this. And on the top end, there are several glass tubes connecting that are pumping energy. And inside that containment, you can see the automaton with the devices you're looking for.
So close.
All we need to do is get rid of
So now you see where
13
it's,
people.
so now you see where it is, right? And maybe can you guys make it? Maybe this thing goes in to screw it around or something, or how does that? Can we?
It looks like
I'm just kind of, and that's exactly the way I explain it because I have no clue how this stuff works.
It looks like you'd have to get the objects out of that
Yeah. Oh, okay.
container that it's in.
Does anybody have any way of not being affected by a blinding light?
Closing my eyes.
Just wondering, because I do have plans for a flash detonation. Maybe to offer as a distraction, but maybe it's not ideal.
Out of curiosity, how far down does this go?
About 30 feet.
Okay, so like, if, for example, just hypothetically, if somebody were to fall, it would hurt probably, but it might not be like the most lethal thing in the world.
Certainly not.
Okay, cool. So there is an option here for me to break the catwalk that they're standing on. That is a thing that I could do.
Supposed to avoid killing people.
Killing, yes. Glad we're on the same page.
It doesn't look like there's an end to the bottom.
So you'll never really know.
Like that. That's what I was. That's why I was asking. I wasn't. That's what I was asking about. If like how far down it goes is like, yeah.
You think you can see a bottom? I don't know.
Okay, then never mind. Then never mind.
Feel free to look over everyone's abilities for what might work here.
Okay.
See, I interpreted that as there being a bottom that they could fall onto. I was like, Stackle Spire was pretty clear about, keeping people's lives, but they were a bit fuzzier on the subject of their kneecaps. So.
Right.
Well, there's
Let's see
also
where
the
this
thing
goes.
of we can't be seen.
Well,
Oh, I got no problem with that.
If only somebody couldn't be seen.
Well, at least being able to.
In the meantime, because I'm sure whatever is going to happen, the shit is going to hit the fan. A, I'm going to burn my action recovery rest, and B, I'm going to pop my intellect enhancement.
Okay.
So I'm going to reach into my bag and take what looks like the flattened out mouth of a Venus flytrap, except it's all in a weird sort of bronzy gold color. I'm going to slap this patch onto my arm, and it sort of bites its little Venus flytrap teeth into my arm, and I'm going to get 2 extra intellect edge.
Nice.
All right. So I'm going to take an action rest too, and I'm going to tell you something that I give you since you're around me, which is everybody gets a +1 just for, because I'm kind of cool. I kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Everybody gets a +1 to their recovery rolls.
Cool.
And because things are below us, I think just to have them ready, I am gonna craft my adhesion clamps.
Okay.
What's the
That's an assessed difficulty of 0 for you. It just takes 10 minutes.
okay. And then the materials needed?
We can skip over that for now.
Okay, cool. Got it.
Well, since you're all taking 10 minutes, I will say, eventually, all of those Order of Truth members leave. But that guy remains.
I will say during this 10 minutes, because I forgot to say, actually, no, never mind. I'm not going to do that. It's good.
I have an idea on how to deal with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have any other ideas?
About what? The Arbiter?
Whoever the guy is, I'm assuming that's the Arbiter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's so easy.
Now I'm suspicious, but
Now, there's nobody else around. All the people left, right?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When, seeing them leaving, did they look could I tell, did it look like they got what they wanted, or are they leaving in kind of frustration, or
They left mostly in silence. They seemed to be talking amongst themselves. It didn't really look like frustration, though.
Okay.
Basically, the Arbiter was kind of giving this speech. They wrapped it up, and they all left. And actually, I'll take perception rolls.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. And I don't have specific skills in this, but I do have
I'm
confounding,
distracted by something.
which allows me to attempt a task in which I have no training as if I was trained. So
Sure.
I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna pull that out right now and just sort of use that. So that's one step down. This is an intellect, so I'll just use that free level of effort, and I think I'm good with that. That's a 3.
Okay, that's actually enough.
Okay, cool.
When this person turned around, you could see that they didn't have feet, but rather they have tentacles.
so I rolled a 2, which normally wouldn't matter, but my descriptor is confident, which means I get a GM intrusion on a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, so the catwalk, it's very old. We're in a very old structure. You hear this creaking sound as the portion of the catwalk you're on, Fidget, breaks. And you start falling to the lower series of winding catwalks.
Oh my god.
Oh damn.
What?
Can I
How
use?
close am I to the tentacle guy?
Oh, you're within a short distance from them.
Okay, then
Oh.
once I land, out of panic, I have something I'm gonna do, but I'll let you sort of decide how time is working.
Yeah, give me a speed defense roll though.
Okay, yeah, sure thing. I'm gonna spend. Do I know the level?
I'm gonna say it's a level 4. This is the fall. You're reacting to the fall.
Okay, yeah. Then I'll spend 2 levels of effort on that.
Okay. Nice. You brace yourself. You suffer no damage from that ball.
Does that? Will I be? Do you want me to just go ahead and do my thing, or do you want to?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, sure. So I'm going to reach in to my bag and pull out the other Kaon dot, and I am going to charge Mr. Tentacle Man and try and slap him with the Kaon dot.
All right, give me an attack roll.
Oh my
All right. I assume this does not count as a medium weapon.
No. Well, no.
Okay, sure. This is from might.
Yes.
Okay, might.
Well,
So
might
I'll
or speed, whichever
Okay,
you'd
I'll-
like.
Spend. Actually, spend speed. So yeah, I'm gonna spend 3 levels of effort from that.
Ooh.
And yeah, that's all I got. So. Use task 3 levels. Let's roll. Does that do it?
That does it.
Fuck you.
So, do you want to describe how this happens?
Yeah, so the catwalk breaks, and for like the split second, Fidget just goes into like pure panic mode. But I'm able to sort of recover and turn the fall into a sort of like action movie roll. And from rolling to avoid most of the vertical fall impact, I just spring out into a dead sprint, and as I imagine this creature person is sort of turning in my direction, trying to process what's happening, I reach into my pocket and pull out like a little small glass container, inside of which is the other Kaon dot from the detonation. And I just grab it and just slap it on to the creature. And this puts the creature in stasis. And my hand is bleeding from having, broken a glass thing, but the creature, I imagine, just like slips out of time and just is there.
Yeah, these kind of blue specks orbit around them, and they are just absolutely frozen in place.
Well, that's one way to do that, I guess.
Sorry, I panicked.
No, this is good, probably.
I don't
probably
believe
not-
we'll have much time. That was probably noisy.
Yeah.
Are you doing okay down there, Fidget?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Here, I'm gonna row up to the automaton is in like a glass containment thing, right?
Now that you're close to it, it looks like it's beyond some kind of curtain of plasma.
Ooh, gotcha. Are there any control panel looking stuff?
There's tons of that. Yeah.
Ah, bitch. Hey, everybody, I could probably really use your help down here. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Immediately
probably.
when he gets, I go down.
You guys have rope. You can
Help her,
fasten it. You can climb your way down. We could say you're all down.
And I'm going to wait for someone to come around and try to do an understanding NUMENERA thing. But in the meantime, I'm going to sort of assess the panels and all of that from the perspective of salvaging, in the sense that, like, okay, what can I take out of here? What seems like a power source?
Actually,
just trying to assess the value of components.
yeah, I am going to try to find, when I get there, I'm going to try to find whatever is any kind of like, any kind of control thing. I'm going to try to determine what that it might be.
Okay.
And I'll just be here as assistant if anybody needs my help. But I was also wondering if my remote viewer is still active, because I would like to see if there's a way for me to see if the ruckus attracted any attention of any of the truth people.
Okay. You don't seem to see anybody coming. No.
All right, looks like it's all clear, everyone, for us to do what we need to do.
Now, I will say, Iseep, you do have disable machine.
What should I use that one?
So you can it's 3 intellect points. You have an edge of 3.
Okay. So would that help disabling this?
You could
Because
disable
it's what's beyond. Okay.
the plasma barrier, sure.
Because that's what the artifacts are behind, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Everybody cool with that?
Yeah, go for
Oh,
it.
yes.
Let's rock it.
Yeah, so go ahead and describe how you dismantle this.
Oh, wait. Do I need a roll for it?
Nope.
Oh, okay, great. So Fidget, you're by the panel, right? So I just walk up to the panel and I take out the multi-tool that I was fidgeting with upon our first interaction back in the when we first met. And you see a little laser come out of it, as well as a metal tip that starts to it almost starts to move across the panel like it's controlling me, but I've been using this for so long that it's a part of me. And slowly but surely, nothing sparks or anything because this tool is just really precise. You just sort of start to see like heat signs around each of the parts of the panel. And then all of a sudden it starts to slowly disintegrate and the plasma shield starts to slowly flicker in and out until it disappears.
All right.
All right. I think we could get the artifacts, everybody.
So,
Capture device ready?
ready.
You take it apart.
Yep.
When you
Yeah.
do, it starts ticking.
Oh gosh.
I don't love that.
I'm going to.
Is the
Can I-
rhythm consistent?
Yes.
Can we assume that like we got like right up to the automaton and then popped it open and had like 2 people on standby ready to grab stuff and put it in?
You could, yeah.
Yeah. So let's assume we're doing that.
Yeah.
Who wants to be on grab and shit duty?
Sure, yeah.
Is it like in gooey stuff? No. Okay,
No,
it's
I
just
just-
in there.
Yeah. So I'll open it up.
All right. And you grab the items. They are ice cold to the touch.
Like painfully so?
Almost.
Almost. Okay. For now, I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to take them. I'm just going to take what I can.
All right. So there's only 2 of them. So if you grab them, I assume you go to put them inside the containment device.
Yes.
They get sucked in as if magnetically.
Aha, so it is a Pokeball.
And that cylinder end of it, who's holding that?
I thought I was holding both parts.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah.
the cylinder begins to get really, really hot to the touch.
Ooh, ow, ow, ow. And I'm just gonna sort of put that part down.
You notice that light begins to emanate from the cylinder, almost like a lattice pattern of its shape, and it grows out. And this light just continues to burn with an intensity that blinds all of you. And everything kind of goes black. And then after a short time, you begin hearing these bursts of static. You feel like your ears pop several times. You can feel your stomach turn a bit. The hair on your arms stands. You have this sticky, sweaty feeling all over you. You guys find yourself now standing in a room very much like the one you were just in, but the automaton is now standing in front of you and it is fully animated. And those static sounds that are bursting are coming from it.
Does it seem like it's activating, or does it seem like it's blowing up?
It's kind of looking at you with its 3 heads. And then it, with one of its arms, it touches its shoulder and a rod comes out with a ball at the end of it. And the static begins to morph into language that you understand. It says, "Forgive me. We can only communicate through very simple sentences." You have the items. Yes?
Yes.
Follow me. And it walks down those series of catwalks to the door where you had seen the Order of Truth leave through.
Follow.
Yeah.
So you guys start walking through a facility of strange machines and lights, things you don't really understand. The air smells very rich with iron. The machine leads you to this square platform that looks like an elevator of some kind. It gestures for you to stand on.
Get on.
The elevator begins to rise, and it rises through more levels of more of these machines. And then eventually, it surfaces out to just a tube that's covered by glass. And you see that you are ascending some kind of glass pylon that goes up for thousands of feet. And if you look out, you can see just the expanse of land. And about a couple hundred miles north, you see another glass pylon that looks just like this. You've never seen anything like this in the landscape of the Beyond. And this elevator cart is just rising. You can see there is a strand that looks like it runs from the pylon you're in all the way to the one hundreds of miles to the north.
I just sort of alternate between like looking at the landscape and looking at the automaton, and just under my breath. Oh my god.
Does anything feel familiar from our time in the DATASPHERE?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. Just because you said like the pylons we hadn't seen as like part of anything in the Beyond before.
Oh,
so-
yes. Yeah. You did see that in that sort of like miniaturized version of the Earth. As you're rising, a point of light breaks out on the night sky, and you can see what looks like maybe a comet or something trailing through. And the machine says, "We don't have much time."
Does it have to do with that comet flying
Yes.
through the sky?
Rylan is sort of looking around, and like, I'm just curious if there are like familiar landmarks. Does it look the same as like, or is it distinctly different?
You
from-
recognize the Black Riage, the mountainscape
Okay.
that divides east and west. There's no glass pylons, though, in the Beyond that look like this.
Right. Rylan is starting to put pieces together and just sort of looks at the automaton and goes, "When are we?"
You have been brought back 50,000 years. If you look out to the east, you can actually see the clock of Gala as well. That's probably the only thing that you recognize.
I'll just say, I look back at the comment and I just say, is this one of the many ends?
This time it will work.
How many rotations is 50,000 years?
14, 15, 16 million, something like that.
So the message was sent now.
Yes.
Okay.
How did you know to find us and where to?
Her daughter. And he points to the comet. The elevator stops. Remember I said there was a cord or like a connecting. You can see a very thin kind of catwalk that looks like it goes on for hundreds of miles to the north. The platform then starts moving down there. We will prevent her arrival for another 40,000 years. When you get to the bottom, hide that artifact.
What will happen to her daughter if we hide the artifact?
She will find it. And she will know what to do.
Iseep looks around at the crew he's become very fond of and asks, should we all trust this?
If I look in that direction, like gauging distances based on like what I know, is the other like pylon up approximately where like White Lake would be?
White Lake would be at a middle point.
Middle point. Okay.
The other pylon would probably be in a region known as the Jagged Wastes.
Okay.
Which in your time is known as nothing more than a field of destroyed glass shards.
Gotcha. Well, I think it's not happening the way I think any of us expected it was going to, but I think it is what we set out to do.
What, has any of this been the way that we expected it to be?
It's a fair point.
The platform you're on stops in the middle, and there's a series of panels. The automaton starts messing with them. In a few moments, you hear a very muffled bang. And if you look from the glass pylon from which you came, you see this enormous explosion. And the glass pylon begins to sink down as it's being destroyed. The comet from overhead appears to like ricochet off the atmosphere, flies off past the direction of the Earth. The automaton looks at all of you and says, "There may be a way back. I apologize."
Where? How?
Perhaps the way you came.
Does everyone still have their vertices?
Those are still
Except for Fidget's place.
Yeah.
They're
Fidget.
50,000 years in the
Yep.
future.
So what do you mean from where we came?
You arrived via the Datasphere this time, yes?
This time? Yeah, yes.
We can go back via the Datasphere. We might not live that long, but the data would. Possibly.
The suspension that you're in begins to drop at a very rapid pace, like a free falling elevator. It takes a few minutes before it very roughly hits the earth. A doorway opens from its glass structure.
Oh,
Hide
so
the
we have to-
artifacts.
Okay.
So we walk through.
And you are standing on the surface of the ninth world 50,000 years ago.
Good place to end.
Where do you hide the artifacts?
What's around us?
You think out in the distance you see a campfire. You're not sure. Looks like a small village. I'll leave it up to the four of you to describe how you end this session 50,000 years in the past.
I guess we have to figure out what is the appropriate place to hide them.
I could make something to contain it, and we can, I don't know, bury it or...
I feel like we should leave it as far away from what looks to be a campfire and a village.
Agreed.
Maybe here. I vote we bury it here.
Or we have all the time in the world now.
Should we be the guardians?
Maybe for a little while.
hide it in the Datasphere with us.
Can she find it there?
If she's in a comet, she'd have a hell of a time getting to it. That's for sure.
Well, one of them has to find it, correct?
That's a good point.
And then
Our cryptic message told us to go to White Lake. Are we at this White Lake or close to this White Lake?
As far as you know, Rylan, this is roughly in the area.
True. I suppose. Huh. Isn't that interesting? Maybe we do keep it here and stay with it.
I'd be happy to stay with you all.
So would I.
Just us hanging out in the plains for.
Maybe others will come eventually.
They said this time it'll work. That means that I don't know. As long as it's safe, I suppose, until she comes gets it. I think. Then we can
Oh.
talk about it
We were told to take it to White Lake. Maybe
and hide it.
I think we did our part. So now I think we just wait for White Lake to come to us. Or to come to it.
We could go ask that village if they know where a place is. Is there a place called White Lake? Is there an actual lake? Because they did call it White Lake, and from what I feel, this message was sent probably around this time. Maybe
And
even
also-
sent from somebody in that village.
Yeah, the message was also sent into the future for people in the future, so
Yeah. And
point of reference.
as it took an intense journey for me to trust you all, I'm hesitant to trust anybody new, but I'll
Then
go
we
with
just-
the group on this one.
I think we just keep it on the move then. And while we move with it and find a place that's suitable to hide it, we'll keep an eye out for any ways into the Datasphere.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get moving then.